Good morning, ladies. I'm starting our presentation on Scotland today, but it's very important to note that the people of England during this time were a pre-literate society, and so they didn't write anything down, and this includes their music. Pneumatic notation was more found in areas like France and the lower portions of Europe, because once you got up to England, it was really a dark age of arts until later on. So as you can see by this map, Scotland is the northern portion of what is now the United Kingdom. So throughout history, there's been this influx of people in and out of specifically where England is, but especially Scotland. And in just a moment, I'll talk about the indigenous peoples there that moved around and how different peoples manipulated their presence. The first peoples known to Scotland are who are called the Picts, and they're known as painted peoples. In the next slide, I'll show you a picture of them, and they are quite painted. Most of their music down through history was lost like their music because they were a pre-literate society and they didn't write anything down. However, they probably had early chant, and their music was thought to be based on the harp, but the people that came up later, which are the Celts, are known to have actually brought the harp. It's known as a fact that they did, and they came over from Northern Ireland, the Celts did, with their rich culture and, in some cases, their literacy. The first cases of literacy that we see in Scotland are because of the Celts. So as we can see by this map, the Scots, or the people that migrated to where the Picts are located in the west, where the yellow is, and the Picts are in the green. And slowly from the area that is now Ireland, the Scots moved up and imparted their culture there. And on the right side of this slide, you can see a picture of the Picts. And this is an artistic representation. Nobody really knows what they look like other than their carvings, but this is what historians think that they may have looked like. And the Celts brought with them chant and an early stringed instrument called a timpan, which is actually not a drum. And in their society, only wealthy people had music until they had actual written chant. And until they had the written chant, it was mostly passed by rote. But eventually, again, they got to the point where they could write in pneumatic notation. The first instrument we have present is called the clairshach, and it's a small harp that was carried from place to place, but the difference between it and the orchestral harp is that the tuning is diatonic, so you'd have to physically tune each of the strings by a series of pegs at the top, and it's quite smaller, but it has a larger sound box on the bottom, closer to what we saw in South America, really. And originally, it was strung with animal gut strings, specifically from pig intestines or other types of animal intestines. So eventually, there was a separation between the two groups, the Gaelic peoples and the Scots. The Gaelics inhabited the Highlands of Scotland, and pastoral work songs were the center of their society. In their society, everything has a social function, from lullabies to laments. Labor songs were the most important, and here they're called Hebridean work songs. They're particularly important to the manufacturing of tweed, which women traditionally did until the introduction of modern technology that allowed machines to do it. The song that Michelle or Gabby's going to click the link for now in YouTube is called Beloved Gregor, and it's traditionally a work song. The lady at the beginning of the video explains why the song was created, but it's traditionally played on the harp that she is playing. So if you ladies would pause this video and click the YouTube link now. The Gaelic community is built around clans. I usually think about Brave and the 3 clans that exist within that movie, and the different bagpipes, specifically the Highland and the Lowland, are built around these communities. These are what we traditionally think of as bagpipes, and they're what's called the Highland bagpipes. There are 2 drones present on each pair of bagpipes, and they're the tenor and bass. The drones are cylindrical like a clarinet, and they have a beating reed. And again, they provide the drone, which is the base of the music. The chanter is conical like an oboe, and it has holes in it similar to a recorder. And this is what the player's fingers go on that change the pitch. However, this is not what the player blows in. The mouthpiece is what the player blows in, but the chanter is what controls the pitch. And it has a reed similar to the shawm, and it's a late descendant of it. And how you play the Highland bagpipes will be discussed in the next few slides. Bags, which is a very important part of the bagpipe, are made of sheepskin, which is dyed and stretched. In the Highland bagpipes, the chanter, which is a perforated tube, has a reed on it, and it is put in the skin reservoir of sheepskin. And the wind enters the bag through a mouthpiece which is attached to the player's mouth, and he blows through it and fills the bag with air. Then he manipulates the chanter in order to produce the different pitches on the bagpipes, while the tenor and bass drones are droning with the air provided by what is in the bag. And all the reeds vibrate, so it is known as a composite windpipe because it has so many reeds attached to it. The Scots are the lowland peoples, and they write ballads and lyric songs that often imply love or lusty undertones. The majority of people that wrote the music here are of the poorer merchant class, but they are very politically themed. Also, it's important to note that the fiddle is an important instrument here since the 1700s, but I'm not really going to talk about it very much since we're familiar with the fiddle through American music. The lowland bagpipes are a little bit different than the Highland bagpipes, as I'll discuss in the next slide. In lieu of a mouthpiece, the lowland bagpipes use bellows, which the player manipulates under his arm to fill the bag with air. Also, the 3 drones are in one stalk instead of separated ones. As you can see by the picture on the right side of this slide, in the middle, it looks very similar to a bassoon, and those are the 3 drones located in the one stalk. And there are hybrids made between the 2 bagpipes, but generally the lowland bagpipe was not as favored as the Highland bagpipe, and it went out of style for a while until it was brought back by folk revivalists, as I'm sure Gabby and Michelle will mention later. Okay, I guess that's it for my portion of the presentation. I hope you ladies have a really great rest of your Jan term and be safe. It's been snowing a lot, and I hope you enjoyed my part and the YouTube videos that are attached to it. Thanks!